Well, you've probably seen these birds roaming around your neighborhood. These are sandhill cranes, but few people have had the opportunity to see this species of crane in Wisconsin. As Phoebe Murray reports, the International Crane Foundation in Baraboo is working hard to ensure this once near extinct population soars once again.
Not your average crane.
They have a brilliant white plumage,
Standing 5 feet tall,
a featherless red patch on the crown of their head,
it's the tallest bird in North America.
black mustache-like mask.
Easy to identify, but hard to spot.
Whooping cranes are an endangered species.
Whooping cranes. There are only about 650 in the world. In Wisconsin,
We're looking at about 68 individuals in that population.
a staggering statistic that brings lead outreach biologist Stephanie Schmidt to Baraboo.
Monitoring the wild population, getting an idea of the spaces and the places that they're using across the year so we can better protect those spaces.
The ICF is heavily involved in the whooping crane reintroduction project.
And we're continuing to supplement or support their growth.
The species require wetlands for survival, an ongoing fight or flight for breeding grounds.
And our whooping cranes continue to be threatened by things that unfortunately are a result of human action.
With conservation at its core, the nonprofit holds all 15 species of cranes in its care.
We are a zoo. We're just a zoo for cranes.
Interpretive Programs Coordinator Quinn Brownell calls the birds ambassadors.
It's only recently, due to reintroductions in our eastern migratory population, that we now see whooping cranes back in Wisconsin.
Taking pride in the role Wisconsin and Wisconsinites play
Feels sort of those same feelings that we do.
in the species' return from the brink of extinction.
One of our biggest hopes is that when people come and visit the International Crane Foundation, they'll have an opportunity to be inspired by some of the work that we do,
And it starts with an appreciation,
to get close and personal look at these birds,
so that over time, whooping cranes may be spotted in a neighborhood near you.
not just at our site, but across the state.
In Baraboo, Phoebe Murray, WMTV 15 News.
Yeah, some beautiful birds there. And just announced, check this out, Wisconsin drivers can now show their support for the beauty of the state's largest bird species while out on the road. You can order these Cranes of Wisconsin specialty license plate from the Department of Transportation. And for each license plate ordered, the International Crane Foundation gets a $25 donation to further their work.